Halt! What business have you in Cottonwood Cove, outsider? You wear the mark of Caesar. You must be who Cursor Lucullus is waiting for. You may continue, but be warned. Mark or no, we will not tolerate aggressive action by visitors in the camp.
Degenerates like you belong on a cross. That machine looks like a floating eye. I don't like it.
You're the one Lucullus said would come. Very well. As much as their cowardice will allow, the profligates avoid open battle, but on good days we find one of their patrols. Their landmines have caused us more trouble than their marksmanship, which is lacking. Are we done then? Wale.
Awe, are you ready to head upriver? You'll be meeting face to face with the mighty Caesar himself, founder of the Legion, conqueror of 86 tribes. To my knowledge, this is the first time Caesar has ever summoned one of the dissolute to see him. That it would be a woman is even more surprising. All who are not Legion are dissolute. They live in squalor, unrestrained by morality, lacking moderation, temper, and self-control. Their very existence is a blight on the common good. Even worse are the profligates, the subtype of dissolute one finds this side of the river. They hold themselves to be civilized, when in fact they are corrupt and self-interested. The truth will be made clear to them soon enough. The trip will take a few hours. Take your place on the boat. By order of Caesar, all visitors must disarm and relinquish all banned items. This order also extends to the platinum chip you carry. For now. Your belongings will be returned to you when you leave. You may proceed. Your belongings will be returned when you leave. Morning.
I've heard rumors that one of the tribes west of the river may join the Legion.
you okay? I can't wait until they let me fight.
I'm looking forward to getting sent across the river.
Morning.
You must enter Caesar's tent alone. Anyone else must remain outside.
The new slave girls are quite beautiful. Some of the slaves have been spreading stories about the burned man again.
So I finally get to meet the courier who's accomplished so much in so little time. That's why I summoned you here, right? I mean, a man nearly kills you, and your response is to track him across the breadth of the Mojave? You assassinate the head of the chairman in his own casino, and get away with it? When you set your mind to something, you get results. I like that. The question is, are you ready to get started? Oh, I'll give you the platinum chip, and then you'll use it exactly like I tell you to. The time is fast approaching when my legion will assault the Great Dam and invade the West. Before that happens, I want Mr. House knocked out of the game. A quick 1-2 punch, with you doing the punching. Down the hill, at the west edge of camp, is an old building. It was here when the fort was taken in 2277. Inside the building is a hatch, and inside that hatch are 2 steel doors that bear the sigil of the Lucky 38 Casino. Now that same sigil is on the platinum chip you were carrying. Isn't that interesting? Even more interesting, there's a slot about the same size as the chip on the console that opens the hatch. So you know what I think? I think the platinum chip opens those doors. Doors that can't be pried open, or drilled open, or blasted open. Because all that, I tried. I want you to destroy whatever you find in there. And then I want you to come back here and tell me about it. So go to the building and take this fucking platinum chip with you. My legionaries will meet you there, with your weapons and equipment. Goodbye. We'll talk again when you've destroyed whatever is down in that bunker. Not before.
Our way, true to Caesar.
We'll talk again when you've destroyed whatever is down in that bunker.
I suspect you'll be a valuable asset to the Legion, assuming you're really... There's a gambler, Martina Grosbeck, who has a knack for learning other people's secrets and passing that information along for a price. The Omertas, who run Gomorrah, have become suspicious of Martina's frequent visits to their casino. Soon they'll pay her a visit of their own. I prefer to handle these matters through intermediaries, such as yourself. If you have to, I really don't see what there is to consider. Wale.
Not before.
I'm looking forward to getting sent across the river. You must enter Caesar's tent alone. Anyone else must remain outside.
I'm looking forward to getting sent across the river.
A free woman. It's been a while since I've seen a woman who wasn't a slave. I forget myself. Are you injured? I never finished my training. The Legion saw to that when they overran my town. I do know basic first aid, but I've had to rely on tribal remedies to treat illnesses and injuries. Healing powders and all that. I'm always running low on Xander root. Plenty of Brock flowers, though. Oh, I've been using 2 roots per flower. Thanks to you, I'll be able to create twice as much healing powder per day. I can only do that if you're a friend of the Legion. I don't want to get crucified. What do you want to know? A small town in New Mexico. The Legion burned it a few years back. That's how I ended up here. 3 years and counting. If I could just get across the river, I'd be free. Not that I'd try it. I've seen what happens when you get caught. We're property. If you're too young or too old, the men usually leave you alone. Usually. You ought to be careful yourself. I overheard some of the legionaries talking about trying you out. All right. Okay.
True to Caesar. Always.
Oh, what do you want from me, woman? I'm in charge of the arena, not the cooking pots. Women are beneath notice, as Caesar has taught us. I'm only allowing you to speak to me because you are Caesar's guest. I may yet, if Caesar commands it. Such as? Most of the time, it's some young legionary trying to make a name for himself, hoping to get noticed by Caesar or the Praetorians. We pit slaves or prisoners against each other once in a while, but it's not much of a show. They're usually too reluctant to kill each other. I set up the fights, keep track of prisoners available, and make sure the arena's cleaned up. Like what? Go.
Hello. Slaves aren't much of a challenge in the arena.
So you're the visitor I've heard some of the legionaries talking about. If you're in the mood to trade, just say the word. I haven't had the pleasure. I have crossed paths with Legate Lanius, his second-in-command, however. It was unpleasant. He's the best the Legion has to offer, or so the legionaries say. Brute of a man, wears a fancy metal mask in a battle. He killed one of my pack Brahmins simply because it was in his way. I knew better than to complain about it, though. Shoot. No, ma'am. I'm an independent trader from Arizona. Not at all. They're my best customers. As long as you don't try to sell them chems or alcohol, they treat you fair. Hell, I don't even need to travel with guards most of the time in Legion territory. All the bandits are dead or run off. Between having to hire protection and getting slapped with taxes, it's more profitable to stick to Arizona and New Mexico. But I do cross the river from time to time when an opportunity comes along. All right. Have a look. Have a... Another satisfied customer. Howdy again. Another satisfied customer. I'll grab my tools. Be seeing you around. Hey. Caesar has permitted you to leave, but not with the platinum chip in your possession. Relinquish it and you may go. Wale. Caesar has permitted you to leave. Wale. Caesar has permitted you to leave, but not with the platinum chip in your possession. As you... Caesar has permitted you to... The guard in the weather station will return the chip to you when you're ready for Caesar's mission. Otherwise, we can return to Cottonwood Cove. Very well. By order of Caesar, all visitors... Your belongings will... Hello. Awe, are you ready? While...
Good. You'll be a legionary yet.
You must enter Caesar.
Awe. True to Caesar.
We'll talk again when you've destroyed whatever is down in that bunker. Not before.
The new slave girls are quite beautiful.
Some of the slaves have been spreading stories about the Burned Man again.
Caesar has permitted your weapons to be returned to you while you serve him. Caesar has put a lot of trust in you. Be worth it.
Slaves aren't much of a challenge in the arena.
Caesar has forbidden you to leave until you've carried out his will in the great underground vault. Wallet.
I do wish you'd come and met with me at the Lucky 38 when you first arrived on the Strip. Or after you killed Benny, even. Quite an honor you spurned my invite. You would... but... Goodbye? Is that some kind of joke? Surely you know that I am Robert Edwin House, President, CEO, and sole proprietor of the New Vegas Strip. I oversaw the city's renovations starting from 2274 onward. The three... That's rather obvious, isn't it? The Platinum chip is a data storage device. I need you to manually upload the data from the chip to the facility's primary computer. There's a terminal at the other end of this facility. There's a complication. While I can broadcast to this screen, I can't control any of the facility's systems. That means I can't deactivate its security bots, most of which appear to be active according to the status board I'm looking at. I like to think you have enough sense to do the right thing. The rewards for doing so are immense, as are the punishments for not doing so.
Do not attempt to flee. Justice will be administered swiftly and fairly.